I think this is on. How you doing? Welcome to the big show, everybody. It's your buddy Bruce here from TWB. How are you? Been a YouTuber on this channel since August the 12th, 2017. Holy crap. It's going to be 8 years this year. Wow. Welcome all to the show and the channel. Coming to you live from Rancho Mirage, California, right beside Palm Desert, California, which is 10 miles away from Palm Desert or Palm Springs, California. Yeah, Palm Springs, Palm Desert, Indian Wells, Rancho Mirage. How are you? It's a beautiful day here today. We hit 77 degrees here, just gorgeous. Been just a spectacular weather. We're doing well, and we're Jen and I are relaxing here. We're now beginning our second month of vacationing here and winterizing and avoiding the Canadian weather, like Calgary's really cold weather. Don't miss it, I'll tell you that. Hope you had a good week this past week. A lot of developments in the world going on. The last 24 hours have been rather entertaining, should I say, for those of us Canadians that are hanging around down here in America. By the way, we're made to feel welcome here all the time. It's just a wonderful place to be. If you're a Canadian, you ever thought of coming down here, you can't really go wrong if you come down here. We met a couple the other day from Vancouver, and they came down here kind of a last minute, spur of the moment. Why don't we come down for a couple of weeks kind of trip? And we happened to bump into them at an ice cream shop and shared a table while we were enjoying some lovely ice cream and got to chatting. And they found out that we're staying for 5 months, and they're just drooling. And what can I say? Stay a week, stay a month, stay 6 months, whatever works for you. However, welcome all. What else is going on around here? We've had already a visitor come through here. We're expecting a few more before our time is up, which is kind of typical when you hang out at a condo in a place like this. The relatives kind of call, see how you doing. Hey, how's it going? What's happening? You guys miss being in Calgary? No. You got any room for visitors? Well, maybe. So we're never really lonely here, honestly. We're good. The weather has been gorgeous. The fires are all done in Los Angeles. The winds are gone. So far, so good. Things are calm, and LA did get some rain. Anyway, there seem to be things there are now in cleanup mode, and that's going to take a long time. But welcome all to the channel and the program. Got a bit of news for you today, and I also have I have basically news on Royal Caribbean, and then I have a couple of cruises that I uncovered that I thought I'd share with you, that just to give you an idea of different pricing and different kinds of itineraries and so on. But welcome one and all to the program. I did hear the other day that cruise lines are reporting record bookings for what they call the wave season, which is right after this winter into summer. Of course, cruise lines are going to reposition their ships out of the Caribbean in late spring and head them off to Europe or over to Alaska. There'll be some ships leaving the Australia, New Zealand area in March, April. Same thing, they'll head probably for Alaska and via Hawaii. And some might work their way to Europe. And so bookings seem to be doing rather well. The question, of course, for most travelers is if you're a diehard cruiser, there's nothing else to think about. Cruising is the only thing you're going to do. If you're a flexible traveler, or you like to mix it up a little bit, there is the question of, do you consider an all-inclusive kind of a resort in somewhere like Jamaica or Mexico? If you're Canadian or European, you can consider an all-inclusive in Cuba. They have 3-star, 4-star, 5-star type places there, cheaper than other places. Or if you've got a a better budget, a bigger budget, you might consider a vacation in the United States, maybe a 2-week vacation in Disney World in Orlando. Going to be serious money, though. If you are thinking of a European getaway, then, of course, you're looking for airfare to Europe and then to stay in Europe. Choose where you want to be in the summertime. There's so many choices. But now you have to play the game of where will all the other Europeans be going? Because now you're competing with hotel space with the European vacationer. So if you go early before school is out or after school is back in, depending on your demographic, you might find that April, May, and June is the perfect time to go to Europe, and September, October is the perfect time to visit Europe, whereas to avoid Europe in July and August because everyone else is on holiday. You have to decide for yourself. And is a cruise the way to go? Cruise lines are not shy in raising prices. They've been able to get better dollars. They haven't had to give away as many perks this year to get people to take the deal. But as a traveler, you have to ask yourself, do you want to be on a ship with 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 other passengers? Or are you looking for a quieter cruise experience? Are you willing to do the cities of Rome and Barcelona in Europe, which are heavily visited, or are you interested in smaller, more quaint locales, maybe some of the fjords in Norway, or cruising to Iceland as a specific cruise? And of course, in the Caribbean, you have to decide where in the Caribbean do you want to stay. And this is going to bring me to my topic of the day in a minute. I'm going to talk about some Caribbean scenarios going on. But first, let me say hi to anyone who's watching tonight. Sharon in the house, number 2 tonight on the thumbs up meter. Thank you so much. Hoping everyone is doing well. Stephen Butler is here, number 4. Thank you. Tim Bowman, greetings from a snowy Seattle. Snowy. Snow fell overnight. More is expected over the next 2 days. My goodness. Kirk Brunson's YouTube and Facebook channel. Hi, Bruce and TWB family. Kirk from New York is here. Working tonight. Number 7, thumbs up. Thank you, sir. Welcome to the show. Ken Kareka is in the house with Jen from Saginaw, Michigan. How you guys doing? It's 33 degrees with a lot of cold and snow expected in February. Good evening, all. Janet and Ken, number 8. Thank you guys for popping by and saying hi to me from cold, snowy Saginaw. Robert Mailhop is here. Good morning or good evening, everyone. Just got watching your show, Bruce. And whenever I see your name, I immediately think, I bet you that my Gold Bagel logo is up there. It shouldn't be there. It's for my other channel. And he's right. I have to get up there and I have to substitute that Gold Bagel level logo for the Traveling with Bruce logo. There it is. We got it. Thank you, Robert, for keeping me on top of things. Gold Bagel logo still up there. Tim Bowman, the logo is up there, all right. Kevin Chapman, the author himself, is in the house today. Hi, Bruce. Amazing 50-degree day today in central New Jersey. Now, in Saginaw, they're cold. In Jersey, they're nice and mild. But back into the icebox tomorrow. Something's coming to you from Saginaw. I hate to say it, Kevin, but there's a present coming to you from Saginaw, and I don't know if you're going to like it. Enjoy the sun where you are, and we are indeed. We were in the swimming pool jacuzzi the other day, right just before sunset. We were there for the last hour and a half of daylight, and it was 73 degrees, no breeze at all. It was just delightful. And 2 other couples were in the pool, and one couple was from Nebraska, another couple from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, way out east. It was a pleasure visiting with those folks, comparing notes. The 4 of them quickly realized that they're hanging out with 2 people who are here for 5 months and lived here for a number of years before. And so we were kind of the locals in a funny kind of way. Always fun to share advice with people, let them know what's going on. Ms. M, hi all. I'm number 14 on the thumbs up meter. Oh, we had a snowy day in parts of Fraser Valley today. Oh my goodness. No dust flying in the Fraser Valley today with snow on the ground. Roger, hi from Jacksonville. Welcome, sir. thank you very much for popping in. Nice to see you here. Tom Kaufman, hey, Uncle Bruce, missed you this morning. Thought I'd check you out on this channel instead of the other channel. Well, it's nice to have you here. Things kind of calmed down in the markets when it was all said and done today. My goodness, what a crazy day it was today. Roger, closest gas station had gas for $9.99 a gallon. Now, come on, Roger, you're in Jacksonville, Florida. What are you talking about? $9.99. What are you talking about? Donnell, hi, Bruce, and all TWB gang. I hope everyone had a great week. I'm the number 12 thumbs up. That's a great shirt you got there, buddy. Here's my other logo I got on today. Thank you for joining me from Cork, Ireland, my man. Jen, say hi to Donnell.
Hi, Donnell.
There you go, Donnell. Jen says hi to you. Welcome all, everyone from everywhere. Great to have you here with us tonight. So the story of the day from me regarding cruise news has to do with Royal Caribbean. I've only been on one Royal Caribbean ship in the travels that Jen and I have had on cruise ships, and that was on the Explorer of the Seas. We were on, I believe, an 11-night cruise, and we left Bayonne, New Jersey, and headed south through one nasty winter storm. We were supposed to go to Labadee in Haiti, but we couldn't get there because the storm that we had to go through was coming at us. We're heading south, and off the coast of the Virginia and the Carolinas, we really got whacked, and the ship had to slow down from regular cruising speed to about 16, 18 knots, because with the wind coming at us and we were going through the water, we were hitting 80-mile-an-hour winds with massive waves, and that ship was being tossed around, and it wasn't a pleasant experience for about 36 hours. Anyway, the captain slowed the ship down so much over about a 36-hour time frame to take it easier on us that we weren't going to make Labadee on time. So we just cruised our way casually to Puerto Rico instead, which was our next stop. And we then went to St. Thomas and what was the other stop we were at? St. Thomas and Saint Martin. Saint Martin. And then from there back to New York to Bayonne for 2 days. We still enjoyed the trip, but never did get to see Labadee. Now, the story I have for you today is about Royal Caribbean. And since we were on that Explorer of the Seas ship, which we estimated today was about 2012, it's been 13 years. Have there been changes in 13 years with Royal Caribbean? Yeah. Apart from the fact that there's we had a virus come through, but back in the day, in 2012-13, you could have gone to Labadee for a daily, a single day hangout at the quasi resort that's on the coast of Haiti. Since then, Royal Caribbean has created and is creating 4 more private locations to take their passengers to, and this is a telling sign of the cruise business. Royal Caribbean has figured out that they want to offer action-packed cruises for families. Of course, if you're a young couple on a honeymoon or just a young couple getting away for a 5-day, 7-day break, Royal Caribbean ships are great. You're in your 20s or 30s. Oh, you got all kinds of activities on board the ship to enjoy. But if you're a family, mom and dad in their 40s with kids that are 10 to 15 years of age, you got the right ship here for these guys. But not only have you got the right ships for this active action-packed kind of cruise with lots of choices for food, entertainment, and activities. Now you have 5 land-based places that you can choose from to frequent included in your cruise. And this is where it's going to get interesting. I think that Royal Caribbean, like all the other cruise lines, they dodged a major financial bullet with COVID from 2019 and 20 and 21, that time frame there. All the cruise lines had to keep their ships in the water, international water off of Florida or wherever they were holding on to them, keep them maintained, and it was costing the companies a fortune to keep these ships in tip-top condition because you didn't know how long it was going to be until you cruised again. But now what Royal Caribbean has done is they figured out we are in debt up to our eyeballs with our bankers, especially our Wall Street bankers, and we need to pay them back. And one way to ensure that we can make more money than just cruise income off of cruise ships is to keep our customers in our hot little hands the entire cruise and don't let them go, even on a day trip in St. Thomas. So we'll do a 5-day trip out of Miami or Fort Lauderdale or Port Canaveral, a 5-day, 7-day cruise. And we'll have a sea day, and we'll go to Coco Cay, which is our island resort in the Bahamas. And the folks on our ship can spend nothing and just walk onto that little island and go to certain spots, look around, or they can buy a day pass for the water park for the kids, for themselves if they want, spend from very little to a lot of money on all those features, or rent a small cabana, a medium-sized cabana, or a full-blown in-the-water cabin for thousands of dollars a day for a family of 10 or whatever. What's your budget? What's your game plan? What do you want to be? What do you want to be doing? You want an adult-only place on the island? We've got that. We've got food. We got drinks, some included, some not. How much money you got to spend? We can take care of you. And all the water toys as well. Brilliant. That island has transformed the entire thinking over at Royal Caribbean. Their entire mentality has shifted. Labadee was opened before Coco Cay, but Labadee can't hold a candle to what Coco Cay has done. Labadee was the minor leagues. Coco Cay is the major leagues, and now Royal Caribbean is expanding beyond those two properties to put 2 beach resorts in Mexico and another one in Nassau. And when I say Nassau, you might be thinking to yourself, Uncle Bruce, didn't you say Nassau was one of the most dangerous cruise ports in all of cruising? And I say, yes, I did. Nassau is still not the safest place to go if you're just walking around downtown. However, in the case of Royal Caribbean and Nassau itself, the country of the Bahamas spent a lot of money on their port facility to redesign their entire pier system. They have a wonderful park area that is cut off from hucksters and hustlers and you name it, watch sellers in trench coats. All those guys are forbidden from going here, but Royal Caribbean has gone one step further. They've decided, you know what? Why don't we do this? Let me show you a little photo of what Royal Caribbean has come up with here. Why don't we develop a property over here? Here's one of the ships, Utopia of the Seas in the Bahamas. And Donnell, I'm going to remove your comment. Nothing personal. Just want to see that photo there. And at the bottom, you'll see that little beach area, and with those loungers and those buildings and the pool over there, and you see the tenders going back and forth. There's a tender that'll go back and forth to the ship, several of them, and you don't have to get off the ship and walk off the piers and go into the downtown pier area. You can get on a tender and go here. This is Paradise Island. And so now you're on Paradise Island, which is a Royal Caribbean property. Here's another angle of the proposed property as to what it's going to look like when it's all done sometime later this year. Look at that. You got two piers, where the one end and the other, and that whole area there is just for Royal Caribbean passengers. No locals, no hucksters, no one trying to sell you some cheap watches or sunglasses or wanting you to buy some beads or anything like that. Look at that. That is sharp. This is a move that Royal Caribbean has figured out. Why don't we do this and make it our own property, and we'll staff it with locals that we will vet from Nassau, and we'll keep our passengers safe and sound. And this is, of course, a typical image from Coco Key, of course, the water park there, and all those rides and slides, and you name it. And then the big beach pool there, and then regular pools, and you name it. This is just a sliver of what that island looks like. There's actually Coco Key from the air. I mean, look at that. When you see the size of the ship and look at the island, it doesn't look like that big, does it? It's rather interesting how small it is, but you can see the cabins in the water on the far side, opposite the ship. See those cabins over there, and you can see how this place is divvied up into private, much quieter areas and much more active areas. So, smart move. Now they're going to do the same thing with Mexico. They're now going to operate the Royal Beach Club in Cozumel and the Perfect Day Mexico, the Mayan Riviera in Costa Maya. And they'll charge extra for some of these. They'll have, like I said, the basic cost, which might be included in your cruise. And then from there, you can step it up to what you want to enjoy. And look, if you're, you're a highfalutin YouTuber like me, busy guy in the finance world, with my stock channel, Stock Markets with Bruce, and you need to get away from all the hordes, all the paparazzi that hounds you all the time. You might go on a Royal Caribbean cruise to one of these, resort islands and book a private cabana and be left alone, you see. Although I don't think that's me, actually. That doesn't describe me at all. But in any event, for those folks who want to get away from it all, or a family of 8 or 10 people, you want to have a family get together, maybe one of those will work perfectly. Royal Caribbean has got it figured out. The profit margin on these places is unbelievable. If you take a look at this photo again right here, this is this shot of the island. You see those floating cabins, okay? I mean, I don't want to call them cabanas because they're not cabanas. Those are full-blown floating houses with the television, satellite-operated television, whirlpool, even a dipping pool in there, showers, a refrigerator unit, a bar. You got everything in there, music, everything. Those are as much as several $1,000s a day, depending on how big they are. And I am certain that not one of those costs more than $250,000 to build. And I'll bet you that they're hauling in $2,000 a day, at least 5 days a week. They're hauling in $10,000 a week per shack, $500,000 a year, and they will spend maybe $50,000 a year to maintain them and keep them in top condition with staffing and bar supplies and so on, and they will generate $500,000 a year, plus add inflation into the mix. And this resort island right here with all these amenities and features is going to make Royal Caribbean, and has already made Royal Caribbean, an absolute fortune. And so with 5 of these now, 2 in Mexico and 1 in Haiti and 2 in the Bahama area, you do a 5-day cruise. You can have 2 sea days, 2 of these other days, half a sea day getting on and off the ship. A 7-day cruise, maybe you'll get 1 stop in Puerto Rico, maybe not. Maybe you'll go to another locale, Turks and Caicos, but I see this becoming an absolute cash register for Royal Caribbean. And Celebrity, of course, is the second line that will use these facilities. And there will be passengers that will book vacations knowing that they're not going to be going to downtown anywhere. They're not going to go onto any island. They're not going to be exposed to any of the locals. They're not going to be hustled for t-shirt sales. They're not going to be hustled to take a cab to go see this or see that. They're going to take a nice, slow, easy peasy vacation all through Royal Caribbean staff and everything charged to their room account. This is a brilliant move by the folks at Royal Caribbean, I think. Anyway, there you are. Donnell, it's a big hi to you too, Jen from Donnell. Stephen Butler, hi today was 78 in Northwest Arkansas. It's a beautiful day, a change for the better. Kate PM, hi everybody, counting down 3 weeks until New Zealand and Australia on the Royal Princess. Nice going, Kate. Stephen Butler, I still have a straw hat from the straw market that was by the cruise port in Nassau for our honeymoon 42 years ago. We stayed at the Britannia Beach Hotel, which is no longer there. Stephen, I think things have slightly changed and evolved over the years over there. Yes, I'm certain. Maybe not quite as quaint as it may have once been, but Nassau changes with the times like anywhere else. Got to hand it to Royal Caribbean to offer these islands. And I bet you the internet works on the islands as well. I'm sure they've set up internet services so that if you've got internet on the ship, you have internet on the island. I wouldn't be surprised that people are sitting in loungers and looking up their emails and watching a video or playing a game, solitaire or whatever, or playing a New York Times jigsaw puzzle or, word puzzle or something like that. Wouldn't be surprised. There you go. Interesting stuff. Now, to get to these places, to take one of these cruises, what I did was I thought I would take a look at 3 different cruises that Royal Caribbean is offering nowadays to this region of the world, and to give you an idea of the kind of pricing you'd be looking at if you wanted to take a cruise to one of these Caribbean type spots. And the first ship that I'm talking about today is the Harmony of the Seas. This ship here, one of the earlier, well, not the earliest, but this was supposed to be my first group cruise ship for you guys back in 2020, I think it was. We were going to go on this ship out of Port Canaveral, but unfortunately everything got canceled. But this ship right here is going to leave from on March the 30th, 2025. It's going to leave from Galveston, Texas. See the map up there, over to Roatan, Honduras, Costa Maya, Cozumel, and then back to Galveston with 3 sea days kind of factored in. The ship actually is from 2016. It was built in 2016, 226,000 tons, 1,187 feet long, 154 feet wide, 6,687 passenger capacity with crew of 2,394. Wow. Gratuities apparently are changing. 18 a day for the junior suites, 20.50 a day for grand suites and above. That's going to go up to $18.50 and $21. And they're going to be adding a 20% tip on all spa and salon services. So, wow, yikes. And of course, if you know anything about onboard salon services, they're much more expensive at sea than on land. Here's the price of this cruise, though. If you wanted to go for a week on March 30, you could take an inside room for $841, an ocean view for $909, brochure balcony, the balcony $951, and a brochure, the suite, I should say, $2903. That balcony rate could be a good deal depending on which balcony you're talking about. They are offering a $50 per cabin on board credit. And if you go with the kids, you only pay port fees and taxes for children 12 and under in the cabin. One thing to remember, if you are going to go on a cruise that includes Mexico, starting later this year, not much longer from now, there will be, I believe, a $42 per person per day tax onboard fee, whether you get off the ship or not. So if it's a family of four, $42 each charge. Yikes, this is why this deal, they're trying to attract you with a bit of a discount to help make it up. Interesting. The second ship I have is for the second cruise I want to tell you about, is the Wonder of the Seas. And the Wonder of the Seas, let me just double check something here. Here's a photo I have. Yeah, on the left is the Wonder of the Seas, and on the right is the 1 year old Icon of the Seas. And look at how the Icon looks so much bigger than the Wonder of the Seas. Isn't that something? This is another shot, I think, of the Wonder of the Seas. It's no slouch, but interesting size differential there. The Wonder of the Seas, there's a cruise available on this one that starts in Port Canaveral on April the 20th and goes to Coco Cay for a day, a sea day, then Cozumel, Roatan, Costa Maya at sea, and back to Port Canaveral. And I bring this cruise up because in the future, once the two Mexican perfect days are open, the Cozumel and Costa Maya, you're going to have in this itinerary right here 3 island stops: Coco Cay, Cozumel, Costa Maya, not island, but resort stops. And then Roatan, as a good measure, you'll have to do a tour there. So only one tour. The other 3 spots you can be on Royal Caribbean property. Now, this cruise here on this ship, it was built in 2022, so it's brand new, really. It's 236,000 tons, 1188 long, 213 feet wide, 6,988 passenger capacity. 2,200 crew. Notice how there's fewer crew on this ship than the other ship, and yet there are more passengers. Very interesting. Again, tipping is going up per day. Automatic gratuities, $18.50 and $21 plus 20% tip. 18% tip for beverage orders, 20% tip for spa services. Here's the price of this cruise. It's actually $1,044 for an inside room, $1,249 for an ocean view, $1,196 if you're an Alberta resident. I'm sure they offer these for all kinds of residencies. $1,196 for balcony, and then the suite pricing starts at $2,845. And if you get a balcony, a $50 credit. Just a little handout there. Interesting cruise there. Now, the third cruise I found in this Caribbean region is on the Symphony of the Seas. That's this big boy right here, if I recall. Yeah, that's the Symphony of the Seas. That was the world's largest ship until 2 years ago. Some other photos of the Symphony. And of course, all these Oasis class ships are rather similar with the pool in the back and the slides. Look at all the water slides there and pools and jacuzzis and all that sort of thing. Big triple story, 3-story dining area here. And of course, you've got your main boardwalk area there with the different restaurants and features and so on. This particular cruise will take you, if I am not mistaken, from Port Canaveral. Hold on a minute. Double check, Bruce. Just double check. There's the Symphony. Sorry, here it is right here. Miami to Coco Cay. That's what I was looking for. Sea day, then St. Thomas, then St. Martin, a couple sea days to Miami. Now, in the future, I will bet you that this cruise ship will go to maybe Coco Cay, have a sea day, and then go to Nassau for their resort there, giving you the option to enjoy the resort there, and maybe St. Thomas, maybe St. Martin, and then back to Miami. But we'll see about that in the next year or two. Of course, the Symphony of the Seas was built in 2018, 230,000 tons, 1,188 feet long, 154 wide, 6,680 passengers, 2,200 crew, and tipping is just the same as everybody else. A most interesting ship and interesting cost here. $1,079 for an inside, $1,400 for ocean view, $1,400 for balcony, and suite $3,500. Now, don't forget, all these prices include port charges, taxes, and fees. So the balcony rate is $200 a person, approximately, maybe $210 a person. And then you get a $50 credit for the cabin, which is, $25 a person, nothing serious. Showing you, because you're not getting a massive discount, this is showing you that this ship sells out. These cruises are sold out, and Royal Caribbean will take away ports and add in their own perfect day spots to maximize returns, but giving you something to choose from. You can choose now to take a cruise where you don't set foot off the ship on any other property unless it's Royal Caribbean property for the entire length. And now you can compare apples to apples. Is this a better deal for you than an all-inclusive resort in Mexico? Would you be better off taking a 7-day vacation from Miami or Port Canaveral back to the same port with virtually, you could book an all-inclusive trip. You get the restaurant package, you get the drink package, get yourself a nice little room. Is it better for you? Is it a better deal for you to take that cruise, or are you better off in an all-inclusive resort in Mexico, Jamaica, Cuba, depending on Dominican Republic, depending on where you want to go? That will be interesting to see. Of course, Carnival is doing it. Carnival is building out private properties in the Bahamas as well. MSC has their private island that they're expanding now to make it even more varied. So MSC is up to it. Obviously, Carnival with Princess and Holland America, with Half Moon Cay and others, they're doing all of their thing. Disney has 2 private islands now in the Caribbean that they're operating. So this is the way of the cruise business for at least the Caribbean area. Europe, it's not that way at all. Europe, there are no private resorts. There are no private hideaways. It's all... you go to Malta, you go to Santorini, or not, if they don't allow you in anymore. You go to Rome, you go to Genoa, you go to Barcelona. Wherever you end up on, on foreign land. And part of the shtick is you take a tour and you get off the ship and take a tour on a tour bus to a museum or to a castle or to another spot. That's the name of the game. Of course, the cruise lines get their cut of the action, having put you on. I will say that Jennifer Jr. and I enjoyed quite nicely our day in Rome, 8-hour day in Rome with the Roman Colosseum to start things off, a church, a very old church, and Roman ruins underneath it, and then ultimately in the Vatican. And we had lunch at a restaurant as part of that tour. Full tour, well run, well done, comfortable, but we were dog tired at the end of that day. There you go. Okay, I got one more cruise to show you. Just one more cruise. A complete departure. I saw this cruise today and I thought I would show this to you. It's on the Queen Mary 2, and it's a around the world cruise. It's 109 nights, starting in New York and ending in New York. How about that? Inside room for 109 nights would be $16,487 a person. And a brochure would run $23,151. A balcony, $23,432. Why would you take an ocean view when you can have a balcony for $23,432? Suite, $49,883, a little more expensive. But if you did book this cruise, you would get some amenities, although I wasn't all that thrilled with these amenities. Here they are here. They have a welcome reception, a World Voyage cocktail party, shoreside gala event, a unique commemorative gift, World Cruise Concierge Service, that could be okay. Prepaid gratuities for 2. That was the one key there. But this doesn't include Wi-Fi. This doesn't include drinks or specialty dining. And so it's kind of limited. But it's early because this voyage actually doesn't depart until January the 18th, 2026. So this one is a year from now, or not quite 11 months from now. And Here's the route you would be taking. You would leave New York on Sunday, the 18th of January, and you're heading straight south to Curacao. And then you're going to go through the canal, Panama Canal, on Sunday, January 25th. You've only had 1 day off the ship here. You've got another 4 sea days, and you're finally off the ship in Manzanillo, Mexico. So that's 12 days with only 1 day off, and then another day on the 30th of January. 2 more days later, and bingo, you're in LA for an overnighter. A night at sea, and you've got an overnight stay in San Francisco. From Frisco, February the 6th, you've got 4 sea days to get to Honolulu for the day, then Kona in Hawaii for the day. Then you've got 5 sea days to go to Papati, Tahiti, Moorea Society Islands. Then you're crossing the international date line. Couple more, 5 more sea days, looks like. A Bay of Islands in New Zealand, Auckland, New Zealand, Tauranga in New Zealand. Then 3 sea days, and Sydney, overnight in Sydney, March 4th and 5th. Then leaving on the sea on the 6th of March, going to Brisbane, that's the Gold Coast. Got a day up there, a couple more days at sea, and then you're in Yorkeys Knob, Australia. 3 more days, you're in Darwin. Now you're on the north end of Australia. And from there, you're going to Bitong, Indonesia. That's kind of near Bali, Indonesia, by the way. 3 days at sea, Hong Kong for an overnight stay. Leaving Monday, March 23rd, going to Da Nang in Vietnam. Then Singapore for 2 nights after 2 sea days. Kuala Lumpur, the capital of Malaysia, on the 29th of March. Then you've got 6 sea days to Port Louis, Mauritius, 3 sea days to Durban, South Africa, a couple of sea days to Cape Town, where you're spending the night. And then you're going to Walvis Bay, Namibia. And from there, you've got 6 nights at sea, 6 days at sea, to Dakar in Senegal, 2 more sea days to Tenerife, Canary Islands, then 1 sea day, Cadiz, Spain. That's where all the ships get worked on. That's the oldest city in Europe, by the way, founded by the Romans. A couple of sea days, you're in Southampton, and over to Paris on the May 1st. And then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days at sea, and you're back in New York City. You will have completed your round-the-world trip on May the 8th, Friday, 109 days. And of course, the Queen Mary was built in 2004 and refurbished in 16. It was refurbished just last year in 2024. Tonnage, 151,000 tons, 1,132 feet long, 131 feet wide, 2,691 capacity for passengers, 1,292 crew. Tipping is 16 a day for Britannia accommodations, 18 a day for the high-end suites, and a 15% tip is added. You can adjust your tipping on board if you feel that it's not good enough or you want to tip more. They can adjust it. That's Britannia's policy, or that's Cunard's policy. They allow you to adjust your tipping. And there you are. There's a cruise. I did a video here of on board the Queen Mary a while back. See if I can make that work a little better. There it goes. There's the video I shot on board. I was in the main foyer when I shot this with my iPhone. Back on I think this is on our Atlantic crossing when we were going from New York to Southampton. Beautiful ship. It's a museum. It's a floating museum. It's really beautiful. Very modern, very nice, and in absolute mint condition. Beautiful ship. Great staff, great food. Not very many specialty restaurants. Not many. And I'll tell you, no complaints from people about the main dining room, but I tell you, Jen and I, 29 nights we were on this vessel. 29 nights. We went to the main dining room once. We ate in the buffet every day. It was so good. Such variety. I just love having a little of this and a little of that and a little of that and a little of that, and eat at my pace and not worry about it. I love the buffet. Anyway, there's the centerpiece. They change that like every couple of days. Just beautiful. Anyway, there's a shot of the lobby, and and the area there. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous cruise ship. Well, anyway, 109 nights. That's a challenge, I got to admit. Jen and I were on the ship for obviously, 29 nights, but not in a row. We were on for 7 plus 12, and then we were off the ship for a while, and then we were back on the ship for 10 on the way back. Of course, leaving and arriving in New York, you're going to be on this ship right here, the Queen Mary 2, passing nearby the Statue of Liberty. Here's a shot of Sydney. You'll have an overnight stay in Sydney on my bucket list. Here's Hong Kong, overnight stay in Hong Kong. And then, of course, Singapore, another place I'd like to visit someday. Beautiful place, interesting place, and very historical. So there you go. And, of course, many other cities. I couldn't possibly put them all up, but 4 different cruises for you to consider if you ever do want to do any of those. Interesting stuff. Tim was saying, we loved sailing on the Harmony for a week a few years back. We had a balcony overlooking the aqua pool in the back. Very nice. Tim says also we didn't need a port of call because of all the onboard activities. And see, there's something to think about. If it's just if there's 2 of you and you're retired, do you really need to run around with your head cut off in downtown Nassau? For what? What do you need to get? True, if you're relaxing on a 1-week cruise, why bother being hustled around? I love the idea of walking off the ship at Coco Key and walking along the pier to the island itself where the amenities are, all the water things. And it's not like I want to take the water rides myself, nothing like that. But, I wouldn't mind taking that stroll there from the ship right to the island there and just walking around and looking around and people watching. And maybe, if they got a barbecue thing going somewhere and you can get a burger, grab a burger, a hot dog, and hang out at the bar a bit, or just grab a lounger in the shade and just put your feet up and relax, and a couple hours on the island and walk your way back to your ship. Of course, you realize that if you stay on the ship, a vast majority of the ship will be abandoned, which would be great because now you've got the run of the place. Maybe you wanted to be in one of those jacuzzis and there's only 1 person in there instead of 8. You never know. But again, the island has its pluses. If you want privacy, they've got it. You want action on the water, they've got it. You want water park action, they got that too. So, lots to enjoy on that spot. And this one here in Nassau, it'll be great for adults with kids. It's a gated off area. The kids can frolic in those pools there all they want. They'll probably provide some beach toys or something, but they'll have lifeguards and all of that kind of stuff. But this will be an improvement over what Nassau has used to offer for passengers coming into Nassau, Bahamas. Absolutely a definite benefit, an upgrade, let's just say. This picture is a kind photo of Nassau. Very kind. So, okay, enough said about that. I don't want to criticize Nassau. They're doing the best they can with what they've got, and it is what it is. Sharon, the flip side is that when a ship is in port, a lot of bars, restaurants, they might not be open. We found that on Oasis in Europe. Yeah, I guess depending on the locale. It depends on the locale because obviously in the case of in our cruise that we just did, they might the casinos are closed when we were circling Scotland until we were at sea, and some of the bars weren't serving alcohol while we were in port. So if you wanted a beer, you had to go to a pub on land. But in the case of private islands, I kind of wonder how Royal Caribbean operates it. Does Royal Caribbean offer their bar services on the ship, even though they're in their own private resort place? it may not make any difference. I don't know. I had heard about 6 months ago that the Bahamian government was going to collect a 10% sales tax on all drinks sold at Coco Key, and this will probably happen obviously in Paradise Island. And for Mexico, I can imagine that they were going to charge or going to want to collect some kind of a sales tax for any drinks sold at the resorts there. So the ships might be shut down. They might not be able to serve alcohol while in port, while their customers have to go to the island. Now, if you have a drink package, is your drink package honored on the island? That is another question mark I can't answer you. Only passengers would know about that. But yeah, makes for interesting thoughts. I know that the Bahamian government has raised their fees for visitors on cruise ships. Now Mexico has raised their fees, and it's going to happen in St. Thomas and elsewhere. All these spots are raising their prices for passengers to come and visit these spots. So the cost of cruising is going up year over year over year. Can't avoid it either. There you go. Well, there you have it, kids. There's my show for today. My little spiel for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you didn't mind it. Thank you for joining us this week. Those of you who've been able to hit the thumbs up button for me, I appreciate that. If you can find the thumbs up button and hit that thing for us, give us a little momentum there. Those of you watching on the rerun, thank you very much for hitting the thumbs ups. Some of you notify me every week. Can I hit your thumbs up button? Hello, Bruce. I just saw your show. Appreciate that very much. I'll see you here next week, Monday, the 10th of February, and we'll update you on what's going on in the world of cruising and elsewhere if we can. A little bit here, a little bit there. Thank you again for your kind words of support and loyalty to the channel. We look forward to seeing you all next week. Thank you, Sharon. Have a great week yourself. Love to Jen. You bet. All the best to your family too. And all of you from around the world that watch me, thank you very much. Those of you who are interested in the stock market, I know you'll join me tomorrow morning at 8:30 Eastern Time, live on Stock Markets with Bruce. I'll be on the air on my other channel, talking about the latest tariffs and all kinds of stuff going on. And are they on? Are they off? Have they been delayed? By how long? What's going on? It's getting kind of crazy out there. Anyway, welcome and thank you. Have a wonderful evening, a great week. We will see you here next week, Monday, from Rancho Mirage, California. All the best to you. Thank you and good night. Bye. Bye.